Hi, everyone, and welcome to It's Time to Excel, where we inspire and we ignite all the possibilities that are just around us. And Winston is in total agreement, and I'm guessing the boys will be as well, because we got some activity going on here. So I'm sure they're going to be communicating in our conversation here today, but that's quite all right, because I wanted to take a few minutes today and kind of do something a little different. I always talk about inspiring, igniting the possibilities, but let's take it a step further. Let's actually upgrade your business. And you know how I want you to do that? I want you to upgrade your business by taking a look in the mirror. So, what do I mean by that? I want you to take a look in the mirror. And what do you see? Do you see the person that you want to be? Do you see a confident individual who's running their business, is managing their life? Maybe their business is supporting their lifestyle. I think you may have heard that once or twice before. I want you to really take a hard look in the mirror. Because if you want to upgrade your business, there's one person that you really got to take care of. And that's the person looking back in the mirror at you. It is so important to make sure that you take care of you. If you want to offer your best to others, then you have to take care of you first. Because if you don't do it, no one else is going to. That's just a fact. As mothers, I think a lot of us have heard that many times, nobody takes care of us like we do. And when we don't take care of us, which is very common, then all of a sudden what ends up happening? You're stressed out, you're frustrated, you don't sleep well. All of a sudden, you're really short with everybody, including your clients. You're juggling so many tasks because they're all jumbled and thrown in the air and they're all falling down beside you because you just have too many things out of control. Now, in your business, it's going to suffer as well. Your personal life, your business life, they're all intermingled. You guys have heard me talk about this before. Same thing with your money. Everything, if it's all intermingled, you got to still have a system. And I want you to take the same concept when it comes to taking care of you. So as I said, we're going to kind of deflect from what we normally talk about, which of course is money. And I want to encourage you because it's all about inspiring and igniting the possibilities. And that includes looking in the mirror and taking care of that person looking back at you. So what can we do? I'm always talking about a system. Get a system in place. Work smarter, not harder. Same thing applies to your personal life. You can work smarter and not harder when it comes to taking care of you. So I thought maybe I'd just share a couple of tips and tricks that have come across my, thought processes as we're kind of talking about this kind of thing. What can we do? And I think one of the biggest things is making sure you get the proper rest. Make sure you are taking time to get rest. Because as business owners, what are we doing? We are juggling all of these tasks for the business. Then we jump over here and we do all of these tasks for our personal life. And before we know it, nowhere on that list is us. So we work till about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then we get up at 4 or 5 and we still try to do it again. It's not going to work. Whether you're a night owl, great. Then work to 2 or 3 in the morning, but then get your rest in the morning. If you're a morning bird like me, okay, I got to shut down around 10 o'clock because if I'm working much past that, and honestly, to be very honest, if I work straight up till 10, I'm not going to go to sleep till noon, and you can figure out what a disaster is waiting around that corner. I've done it. We've all done it. It's part of life, but you can't sustain it. There's just your body will eventually say enough. And then how are you going to take care of your clients? How are you going to take care of family? Think about it. So what can we do? I want to encourage you to get the proper amount of sleep. And whatever that is for you is going to vary, but put some boundaries, a system into place. So maybe in the evenings you shut down at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever. You work one night a week late. That is something that you can do. Pick one night and that's the night you work late. The other nights you get shut down at a reasonable hour. What's a reasonable hour? That depends on you. So get shut down at, 5, 6, whatever, 4, 3, I don't know, whatever works for you. But get a system in place. Get a time frame in place and figure out what works. Because if you're constantly running and you don't take a little bit of time and you don't get the rest to recover, you're not going to be able to sustain that. You're not going to be able to sustain. You're not going to be the service. And I know each and every one of you want to service your clients, service your family with the best that you have to offer. And you can't do that if you're exhausted. It just doesn't work. So, what I want to encourage you is really set some boundaries around that time. Clients shouldn't be calling 24/7. Now, of course, I guess in some industries that might be the case, but for the most part, for us service-based folks, that you have a little bit of flexibility in that. I encourage you to really put some boundaries around that. It will make a difference. It will make a difference. What are some other things that you can do? You guys know these things. This is nothing new, but I just want you to start thinking about it because I want you to look in the mirror. Is the person looking back at you the one that you want them to be? If the answer is no, then there's a few things we can tweak. We all can tweak a few things here and there. So what's some other things we can do? Another thing that we can do is add some exercise in there. You guys have heard this before. Get out and walk a little bit. Get out and run. Go exercise if you like it. Get out for just 10 minutes here and there throughout the day. One of the best things that I've done since I've been at home is I didn't really have a whole lot of choice in a minute with a puppy, but one of the best things that come out of that is the consistency of going out. I don't want to say that word. You get the idea. OUTSIDE. Because if I say that, they're going to get all wound up again. But doing that, and we just go ahead and we WALK through the yard and just have an opportunity to run and carry on. And being here in North Carolina is fabulous because there's a lot more sun here than there was in Pennsylvania. And it's really nice to just get some of that fresh air, get out there, kind of move around a little bit and take a step back. And it's crazy that when you take a step back, all of a sudden, all that chaos, all that nutsoid that was going on in your head, and you were so stressed out, and guess what? Clarity shows up because you took a little bit of a break. You gave your mind a chance to step back a little bit, regroup a little bit, restructure a little bit, and it's amazing. How often does it happen that you get the brilliant ideas when you lay down at night, the brilliant ideas when you're in a shower, when you take a step back? For me, it's getting out there and just totally unplugging from everything. I don't usually take my phone, and usually I'll have 3 phone calls, 5 phone calls in the time that I'm outside, that 10 or 15 minutes. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Because I've gotten out. I've gotten an opportunity to play. I've gotten an opportunity to watch I don't know if you've ever dealt with puppies, but I can tell you when they start running around like little maniacs and you have a Winston around who is having a fit right now, you can't help but to laugh. And laughter is one of the biggest things. And I love to laugh. I want to have a smile on my face. I want to enjoy life. Because when I enjoy life, I can be the best me. And when I'm the best me, I can do that for my clients, for my family, for my friends, etc. And that's what I want to do. So how in the world do we get all this work done? There's only one way that I know. You got to get it written down. You have got to get it written down. But I think you guys may have heard that once or twice before as we're going. You've got to get this stuff written down, just like your money. You've got to track everything. Now, does it have to be exactly in and out? Basically. I want to encourage you to get your calendar up and running, whether you use a date book that's handwritten, and there is something to say for handwriting some things out. And I'm going to encourage you you got to get some of this written out in some fashion or another. Get it on your calendar. Get things blocked together. And I'm a real big proponent of making sure that you batch your time together. So you want to group similar tasks together so that you're not jumping from computer to phone calls to emails to this and that and up and down and over and under. Your brain can't. You can do it for a little bit, but I can assure you it's not going to be the best you. So that's what we want to do. We want to get that blocked calendar, that batched calendar, whatever you want to call it. So if you're going to take client calls, figure out times at work, and then that's when you do client calls, and that's all the client calls in that little section, so that you know that day is client call day. If you're going to be working, in my case, I'm working on the bookkeeping side and the accounting side and the numbers and looking at those books, I go ahead and I do that at a certain time frame. So I know that I'm going to, and I'm going to work on 4 or 5 clients in a 2 to 3 hour batch, but I'm in that mode of working on numbers, working through, putting it through, getting that system in. You have got to make sure that you put the time on your calendar. Now I would encourage you to do one step further. Not just your work time should be on your calendar. You need to be scheduling your life on your calendar as well. And that includes blocking out time for a break, blocking out time for lunch. I am notorious for working through everything. I have started making sure I went back to putting a lunch break on. Now, is that lunch break? Yeah, okay, I aim for 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever. Aim for something, but get it on there. Get it on your calendar and then take it. I block out some time here and there throughout the day for breaks. Because the crazy thing is, we live by our calendars. Let's face facts. As business owners, you're going to have to. It's going to be the part of it. Schedule in your time as well. Schedule in those breaks and take them. It will make all the difference. And you've got to be flexible. Let's face facts. We own our own businesses. Things are going to come up. Things are going to go crazy. Things are not going to work out as with the best laid plans. You guys have heard this before. Yeah, God tends to laugh a lot on those. But you know what? Be flexible. If you know kind of what's going on and you know the direction you've got to get to and you know you've got a deadline, then you make it work. Building in the time on your calendar to go ahead and take care of those similar tasks makes a difference. Then you're not going crazy. Schedule times for phone calls. I'm going to call on this break, or see what works for your business. Each and every person is going to be a little different. Just get it on the calendar. Schedule your time for calls so that you know exactly that, okay, for the next 2 hours, I'm going to be making client calls. Great. I'm going to be making sales calls. I'm going to be whatever. And wouldn't it be nice to kind of maybe make some friend calls as well? This is your business. Remember, your business is supporting your lifestyle, giving you the flexibility so that you can do what you want to do. But it takes a little discipline, and that's okay. It's all right. You can do that. Another thing I want you to think about is we all have a to-do list. And you can create them puppies all day long. And some people, pros, cons, it doesn't matter. For me, a to-do list, I got to get it written down. So I get it written down. And then you've got to look at that list and you got to prioritize it. And anything on that list that you can delegate, you need to be delegating, because there's no way that you will get done everything on that list. It's just not going to happen. Your list is going to get longer and longer and longer. So you either got to delegate it, delete it, or do it. One of the three. Delegate it, do it, or delete it. See where you need to go. And the next day, repeat that list. One thing I have found, that if I get my little list going and and these are the absolutes to do, and I don't get them done, they have to move to the next day. I don't like to rewrite. I don't like to do things twice. And if I have to write it from the next day, that's twice. I don't like that. It's a good way to make sure I get stuff done. For me, that works. So I just want to encourage you, make sure that you're doing that. Another thing that you can do is start your day with a routine. For me, I get up and I do my Bible study in the morning. It kind of clears my mind, gives me a little quiet time, gives me an opportunity to kind of get into my work mode, into the direction that I need to go in for that day. And I take that time each and every morning, and I do some journaling and things like that, just to kind of keep things as a routine. So when I know when I'm waking up, I'm filling my mind where I'm getting where I need to be, then I can start jumping into the day. Now, I'm not quite as good at this one because it's tend to crash on some evenings. But at the end of the day, good idea. A lot of people do a gratitude at the end of the day. Reflect on the day. What worked? What didn't work? What do you got to do differently? Take a little time and actually figure that out. Actually reflect on how things are going. It will make a difference, because as you get that and you're unwinding and you're brain dumping and you're just kind of having, it's a great time to journal. And definitely add in, what are you grateful for? Because I guarantee it, there has been things during the day. I don't care if you've had a horrible, horrible day. There's going to be something in that day to be grateful for. I'm certain of it. Something. And if it's just as simple as you're upright and breathing, so be it. Because if you're upright and breathing, you can accomplish something. And if that's it, you start where you're at. You start where you are, and you take one step forward. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. Take that step. As I said, there's something to be grateful for. And I think if you look a little bit, you won't have to look too hard, and you'll find more than just being upright and breathing. There's so much out there. And too often, everything gets clouded and you can't see what is right in front of you. And I want to encourage you to do that, because when you start seeing what's there and you start making sure things are in place, you can really work smarter, not harder, when it comes across the boards. And when you do that and you start taking care of you, then you can be the best for your clients, for your family, and for those that are around you. And that's what I want to encourage you to do today. I said I wanted to take a little step back, and I wanted you to upgrade your business. And I wanted you to start by looking in the mirror. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you next week here at 11:30, because we're here each and every week at 11:30. We'll see you then. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for joining.